Welcome to the weekly sports update with Alec, Zoida, and Nate Band. I am the moderator, Britt Sovic, and we have some interesting topics to talk about today, boys, and girls. I don't want to point one way, but let's just dive right in with topic number one, starting with the MLB. Who takes the wild card games?
You want to start it or am I starting? Okay.
Alex Zoida will start question number one.
In the NL, I picked the Pittsburgh Pirates over the Cincinnati Reds, playing at home, playing better ball right now, and they're just a deeper team. And in the AL, I'm going to pick Britt's Cleveland Indians to go on and advance and beat and play the Red Sox.
It's actually called the Windians right now, but okay,
and that's what I got in the wild card games.
Nate Band.
Well,
his answer.
For the Pittsburgh Pirates game, I'd choose the Pirates. They're playing very well right now. Just a better baseball team than the Reds overall. And in the American League Wild Card Series, I'd choose the Indians.
Good choice. He's got a brain.
I did throw him off for a second, but I'd choose the Indians there.
Just playing better. Next question. Who takes the pennants? Alec, Zoida with the answer. You're on the clock.
The NL, I'm going to go the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Whoa.
Versus. I'm going to go the Cleveland Indians.
It's a solid choice.
playing the best ball. Hottest team in baseball besides the Braves, but I think the Pirates are going to do some stuff, and Cleveland is going to upset the Red Sox, and then they have a good roster against the Tigers. So I would say Cleveland, Pittsburgh World Series.
Nate Band with the response.
Well, the National League, I choose my Los Angeles Dodgers, the most talented team in the playoffs. Even though Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier are injured, they're not playing in the playoffs. Still believe that they're going to take that National League title. They just get paid too much to lose. And in the American League, I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers. I think they have the best hitting team in the MLB, along with two aces. Verlander did not have such a good year, but I think in the playoffs he's going to shine.
But Miguel Cabrera still is not 100%. So he can't even run, so that could hold him back.
It could play into it. But with that type of hit power, he might not even need to run sometimes with his teammates. Any comments, Mr. Sovic?
I think you're an idiot, and I think you're smart. Who takes the World Series? The big question of the hour. Alex Zoida with the answer. It's a big question.
I think it's going to go 7, regardless of who's playing. But with that being said, I'm going to give it to the Pittsburgh Pirates beating Cleveland in 7. I think it's a Pirates' year to do it.
Nate,
throwing it over. I said the Dodgers take it in 6 over the Tigers. Of course, because they're the most talented team in baseball.
All right, next question. Next topic. We are switching topics to some college football. Roll Tide, roll. First topic, Lane Kiffin. We're going to start with Nate Band since he is a USC fan. Sorry, fans. He's had a rough year so far, but
yes.
What do you think about Lane Kiffin?
I think it came at the right time, but USC definitely has more class than that, firing their coach at the airport. But I really think it came in due time. Even though this season, probably this recruiting class is screwed, I still see that it really had to come. And should have came probably at the end of last season after that huge disappointing season. It just looks horrible right now. This whole season looks like a wreck.
Indeed, USC sucks. Alec.
I think it should have happened at the end of last year. I think with all the hype surrounding Matt Barkley in that program last year, starting at the AP number 1 and then fall out of the top 25, he should have been gone out of there before the season even started. I don't even know why he was given a shot at the job. He didn't have any success in Oakland. He didn't have success at Tennessee. And, you hired him after having numerous failures as a head coach, and I didn't like it, and I think that USC's program is going to suffer from it for a few years to come.
Yeah, I think as a person, he really had a huge impact on the players, too, with his ego and not wanting to hire an offensive coordinator. He's a set play caller, and that obviously didn't work through 4 years.
And having the media not be able to show up to practices just makes it that much worse, because now Everyone's wondering what they're doing, so I don't like his whole plan for the program.
Bert, who do you see as a potential candidate now to get hired at SC?
I see Jack Del Rio, USC alumni.
It's a good one.
I think he will. I think he's the top runner right now, but none of that matters because Alabama is the best team in the nation. So everyone else is just fighting for who's the second best team. So that matters, but it doesn't.
So they're fighting to see who plays them.
Loses to them. Who loses?
Plays them.
But after talking about that topic, it seems they're both in agreement that it was a good decision. Now, talking about is Stanford on upset watch versus number 15 Washington. We'll start with Alec Zoida.
I think they are. I think the way Washington needs to win is they need to control the ball and the ball control. I don't think if Stanford has the ball for most of the game, it's just going to be an obliteration. And I don't imagine Washington being close unless they limit the turnovers. Keith Price plays a great game, and I think that their defense needs to play a great game and keep Stanford's offense off the field. And yes, I would say that Stanford is on the upset alert versus number 15 Washington.
Yeah, I think that Steve Sarkisian has just done such a fantastic job putting this Washington program back on the map. He's definitely, in my opinion, also emerging as one of those candidates for the USC job. But right now he's focused on this year, obviously, and I think that he can really do a lot of great things against Stanford this weekend. But I think when it comes down to it, Stanford has probably the most fearsome front seven in college football. So I'm going to ride with Stanford in that game. And they're playing at home, so that could play into it as well.
Moving on to the next topic. Notre Dame facing their third loss of the season, playing against number 22, ASU. What are your thoughts about this?
I got ASU winning by a couple scores. I just don't think Notre Dame's that good anymore. I think last year it was a good season, but there was not much hype surrounding them until later on in the season.
But then they got trashed by Alabama.
And then they got trashed by Alabama
Roll Tide, roll.
Exactly. And I just don't think Notre Dame has that big of a shot. I mean, Oklahoma, who's not as good as they've been in recent years, went into South Bend last week and basically had their way. And I think Arizona State is going to do the same thing.
That's a good point. Nate, the response.
Yeah, Arizona State this past weekend dropped 62 points on a pretty solid USC defense this year. And I see them doing exactly the same to Notre Dame this weekend. I feel like the Sun Devils are just gonna walk into South Bend and trash the Fighting Irish. Your take?
I agree. Notre Dame's just not the team they used to be, and they're going down a very big hill. I see them losing against a very good Arizona State team.
They need Rudy back.
They do need Rudy back. And then moving on to the National Football League, the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 0-4, no wins, sucking it up right now. What do you have to say about these two very good teams, but are having surprising seasons?
I mean, the Giants just lost to a tough Chiefs team, so that one is not as surprising as the Steelers losing to the Vikings.
Do you think Tom Coughlin's job is...
I think Tom Coughlin's job's in jeopardy. I mean, I think it's been in jeopardy every year that he has a slow start. So basically every year. I don't imagine them letting him go, though, because of the 2 Super Bowl rings that he has with the team. But I would say that they need to do something to turn the season around in order to have Tom Coughlin back. And I would say if they even have a bad year, I would think about getting rid of Eli Manning.
Some bold predictions there.
And drafting a quarterback. Because this year's draft class is going to have a lot of good quarterbacks. Or give Syracuse alum Ryan Nassib a shot at the starting quarterback job.
Go Orange.
Yeah, it seems like every year there's a franchise that kind of looks to having to let a kind of iconic coach go. It's going to happen with Mike Tomlin, too, this year. He's been with the Steelers for many years in the Super Bowl era. It happened with Andy Reid last season. Every coach at some point is going to have to go after a long tenure with the franchise. It's going to happen to Tom Coughlin, in my opinion, by the end of the season. Depending on how the year goes, he could even be gone by the middle of the season once the playoffs are not in sight anymore for this Giants team. I don't think the Steelers or the Giants can make the playoffs. I think the Giants have a better shot just because of the division they're playing in. The Steelers are in a very tough division, so I don't see either team really doing much.
That's a good point. And the Jets, an up and down roller coaster. What do you think about showing some sight, starting off well, and then going downhill? And then, of course, Geno Smith and butt fumble 2.0 trying to go around his back. What do you make of the New York Jets team?
Well, huge news out of Jets camp today. Mark Sanchez is getting surgery, so he's out for the season, so that whole thing is over. Yesterday, we got demolished by the Tennessee Titans. Good football team.
Crushed.
Are they good enough to beat us by a lot of points? No. Like I said last week, Geno Smith has times where he shows a lot of poise, a lot of brightness for the future, like his touchdown pass to Jeff Cumberland. Then, there was points in his second fumble that Tennessee scored, trying to go around his back. Yeah. That's the points. I mean, rookie mistakes. You'll learn from it. I think he'll move on from it. And next week we have Atlanta on Monday night. I'm not expecting too much out of that game, but we'll see.
Weak Atlanta team. Maybe the Jets pull through. Nate, what are your predictions on this Jets team? They're supposedly supposed to win the Super Bowl every year.
I mean, so far, I like the trust that Rex Ryan's been showing in Geno Smith. Every week he's coming in confident, kind of reassuring Geno that he's the starter on this team. I wouldn't think otherwise with the backups that they have there.
Obviously, Geno's the answer. He's playing well.
I mean, the answer.
Mark Sanchez is not very good.
He's throwing for yards and he's getting the completions, but it's just the stupid decisions he makes.
I think he's the answer for this team now. I'm not sure I see him as a long-term answer, especially with the draft class that the 2014 draft class. You have quarterbacks from all around the country, all Heisman candidates, all entering the draft. So you really never know what the Jets could pull if they could get a good quarterback in next year's draft. You never know. I just don't see Geno as a long-term option.
Last one, the most surprising out of them all. The Browns dropped Trent Richardson. Everyone thought 0-16 year for the Browns, and here they are, Brian Hoyer, leading them to a 2-0 streak since letting go Trent Richardson. What is going on?
Their defense isn't bad. Their defense was good. Now that I think Trent Richardson's gone, people have no idea what they're going to do with the ball. So I think
and that surprise factor.
It's more of a surprise because it's like, okay, they don't have Trent Richardson, so we're not going to key on him because we know he's going to get the ball every time. And they have a bunch of small players making plays. Brian Hoyer,
Jordan Cameron,
great
players.
Josh Gordon, who's being speculated for trades now. And, I mean, they beat a good Cincinnati team. They beat a great Cincinnati defense. They shut down A.J. Green. I think he only had 4 catches or something. And they're playing good football, not turning the ball over that much, and just finding ways to win games.
Nate, you asked what is going on. I have no idea, to tell you the truth. This came out of nowhere. I was expecting a toss-up between the Jags and the Browns for the worst record in the NFL this year, and right now we're looking at a trio of the Jags, Giants, and Steelers, which is a sentence I never thought I'd utter. I have no clue how this is happening, but you just got to keep riding the hot hand. Brian Hoyer definitely deserves to start the rest of the year, in my opinion. I think they should just go ahead and bench Whedon and test their luck in this year's draft for a quarterback. Flynn is god-awful.
And I guess we'll close the program on one last topic: the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Is this the year they go all the way?
No.
No, and we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. I don't know about that. Well, this is the end of the segment. Come join us all next week.
Shout out to Syracuse Rugby. Big Sam messed up his shoulder, but he's going to bounce back. And looking forward to get out to a game. We got Clemson this week in football. Upset alert?
No.
I think we're on upset alert. Terrell Hunt, true freshman, looking like a little Cam Newton out there. We'll see what happens. Got the home crowd behind us.
Homecoming game. Watch out.
Clemson's reportedly... Adam Schefter's reporting that they are rattled, so I think they're on upset alert. Shout out to @BritSovic. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram.
That's BRITSOVIC.
Yes, thank you for watching. Tune in next Monday for another episode of the show. Our Twitter handles and Instagram handles will be put up on the screen at the end of the show. So Brit's comment is useless. Thank you for watching.